Oh yeah, it looks like we've got a Adirondack chair that's gone awry. Oh, come on, don't even say it. Yep, we can make it, Rex. It's not one door, it's another. Out the side door where yesterday the ground was wet with icy spots, and now the ground is icy with snowy spots. And this is one of the questions I had. Is the over easy going over easy? That would be the name of a gondola that takes us from this building across 108 and the river to the ski resort. Well, there's one on this side also, but we've got some wind issues. We woke up this morning about maybe 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning to a whirring, ghostly howl of wind. Last night seemed relentless. It seems a little bit tame now compared to where we were. I mean, but it swirls. Look at the flags are kind of hanging straight down. Is there any new snow? Well, there's new snow somewhere. When it comes in blowing around, you got to find it in the little drifts. Let's see if we can't do a texture check here. I think the last thing you want after a rainstorm is a dry, fluffy snow. What you want is rain to change to snow, and a wet snow comes down for several hours before the dry snow. But that did not happen. It's a fluffy snow, so this is literally dust on the crust. Yesterday, this was treacherous right here. T-Rex taking care of business. So we have probably about maybe 2 inches of snow so far. And it's going to keep on snowing. This is day 67 in a row with New England snow. And boy, is it whipping around. The storm center now is over the Bay of Fundy. You can look at this circulation map. The red numbers are wind gusts, and then those lines and barbs show the direction. So the cyclonic flow is centered right over the Bay of Fundy with temperatures in the 40s over Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. Cloud just went by. And temperatures in the 20s and teens in New England. And at 6 a.m., Worcester, Massachusetts at the airport was gusting 56, 58 miles per hour. So wind warnings in effect this morning. And the snow report here at Stowe says we're starting late. This resort often runs the lifts at 8 a.m., but today 9 a.m. to give the mountain operations team time to try and repair the damage. Because the wet snow was fine to ski on yesterday, but when it refreezes, it makes it tough to ski on. It makes it firm, to say the least. And the report this morning says, beware of organic debris. That would be branches and pine cones and such, and uneven, scoured, hard surfaces scoured by wind. Mount Washington, of course, the pinnacle of wind in New England, usually, and that is the case this morning. Before 7 a.m., it was sustained at about 75 miles an hour, and the temperature was -7, and the wind chill factor 47 degrees below zero. So you want to go skiing, do you? Well, I do want to go skiing because I like to test the goods, and I'm going to try and make a run or two. So much going on yesterday with we had some rivers out of their banks due to ice jams. And Josh in Montgomery says that was a trout river. And those ice jams, I think, have released or lowered enough that we have no flooding going on. And then I did travel up some roads to the Nebraska Knoll Sugar Farm, and I met the Coty family, and first boil of the season. It's a huge tradition around here, and what an operation of taps and plumbing and fire and boiling, and then the sap came out, and the sugar came out. The sap turned into sugar, and I got to do a tasting. So I'll have all that coming up after I go test the goods, and it's a travel day, so I don't have a lot of edit time. All right, just heard a bird, just heard a chickadee. Where are they? All right, Rex, going back inside for a minute. So much uncertainty. Terrain status, weather forecast. One thing that is certain, though, Spring Maple Open House Weekend is set in stone in Sugar, March 22 and 23. And I'm sure the weather will still be interesting. I couldn't even figure out what was going to happen an hour ago for right now. When we went out the door at 7:45, was that? It was blizzarding. And it was still blizzarding even harder at 8:30, and now it's 9:15, and the sun is out, and we have blue sky, and it stopped snowing almost completely. That is the nature of these upslope snows and little perturbations in the flow around that departing storm, which is getting stronger and the wind is probably going to get stronger before it gets weaker, and the snowfall up here in the northern Green Mountains also will get stronger before it gets weaker in pulses. I think the heaviest pulse is coming in tonight and tomorrow morning of both snow and wind for us. And so you see nothing on the gondola, and Forerunner chairs are not on, Sensation chairs are fixed, but nothing moving on this side of the mountain. The other side of the mountain, though, Spruce, the Adventure Triple, and the Meadows Quad are open. So there is some skiing here. Some resorts didn't even bother opening today. Wildcat says, for the safety of our guests, we're not even opening today. Plenty of parking over here right now. They're charging $30. All right, so the uncertainty, I'm still sticking with my 10 to 20 inches of snow. I know there's some skeptics for up here in the northern Green Mountains. It's a very localized effect. I mean, down along Route 100, there may be less than an inch, but then these tops of these mountains can come in with many more inches than that. What's that? There goes some grooming. We get some grooming going on in Gondolier. And we got an image from the snow stake, which is up there this morning. Remember, we went up there about 3 days ago. There were 8 feet. And the snowpack up top, near 4,000 feet, has diminished all the way down to 7.5 feet. So regardless of what goes on today, tomorrow, and the next couple of weeks, spring skiing is going to be nice. You see that snow in the air right there? Oh, wow, look at this snow ripping off the top of lift line there. You get snow nados a lot of times right there where the cold rushes down those trees and the sun illuminates the slope right there. So snow nados happening today. There's a gust coming to remind me. I do have on my wireless lav, so I don't really have to yell, do I? Winter is far from over, and I guess I can just show this NAM high res for this system. It's kind of two things going on. We have the strengthening storm that's going east of Maine right now, and that's headed for 964 millibars, and there's that snow in Maine departing, but the wind stays up, and it's fairly subtle, but can you see the 516 and the 510 blue lines coming down out of southeastern Canada? That's an upper level pool of Arctic cool, which is going to trigger fat snowflakes in the upslopes of northern New York and northern Vermont, and that's where I think we're going to get a real low density blower pow. Yes, more than 10 inches of snow. I'm sticking with it by late tomorrow, but unfortunately there's also still a lot of wind, so wind hold issues are here for our Saturday, and they will release on Sunday. Boy, wait till you see the changes in the GFS. Remember, way back at the beginning of the week, it was supposed to snow on Saturday, and then there was supposed to be a big storm on Sunday. Well, pretty much both of those are canceled. The weather guidance giveth, and the weather guidance taketh away. And we'll just, I got to do a quick edit today. I got to hit the road. We got to check out of here and head south back to the Weymouth Big Dig. So I just want to show you the 240 hour that we showed 24 hours ago. This was day 10 for 7 p.m. next Saturday, the day before many of the big St. Patrick's Day parades. I know they're this weekend and next weekend. And anyhow, it showed a high pressure system in southeastern Canada with a wintry mix on our doorstep there, a strong low that was centered pretty close to Ohio, and that would have been a wind from the northeast and marginally cold enough for snow instead of rain here next Sunday. Now I want to show you the same model, that's the GFS. 24 hours later, here's the guidance for that same time. This is 7 p.m. next Saturday. And where did that high pressure system go? It's gone out over the Atlantic Ocean. So instead of having a high pressure system over southeastern Canada, now you got these or not quite bombs, but real powerful storms lined up from northern Ontario right down through the Great Lakes states with a huge chunk of heavy rain and wind headed toward New England. It's not imminent at that point, but it looks like now it's totally reversal. Instead of a chance of a wintry mix next weekend, it looks like chance of rain and real warm wind in New England. And if I had to choose between the two of those, the gut feeling is that probably the warmth and at least some rain is going to win out. I have more confidence actually in the warm solution than the cold solution because of how the pattern has transitioned. And our friends out west, we're the trio, the three musketeers of skiing from around here. Carl Weller went to Powder Mountain in Utah this week. Hope you're feeling better, Carl. Weir went off to Florida. Good job, Weir, for Fat Tuesday. I saw that fun. And here's Ross Budd went off to Park City yesterday and sent these images. Park City picking up about a foot of snow in the last 48 hours, and so we're all scattered around. But you guys that chose Utah made a pretty good choice. That's where the snow is focused over this week and the next couple of weeks, but not that we're not getting any snow here. So let's go now to the GFS. Thank you, Ross. Always appreciate your input. Hope you're having fun at Park City today. Is that where you are? And not missing much here, are you? Dust on the crust. All right, here's the GFS. And you can't quite see it, but that powerhouse of a storm is bombing out south of Greenland, or not quite bombing, but it's going to 964 millibars. So even though it's getting farther away, the wind stays up here. There's our backside upslope snow, that 510 thickness coming at us. And then the Saturday system is just falling completely apart, coming out of Utah and then just disintegrating east of New Jersey. Oh, what about that Sunday storm that was supposed to be on the south coast of New England? Try the panhandle of Florida. Yeah, I have to show the real wide view here so you can see that going across the Gulf of Mexico. At the same time, there's another storm going north of New England. And so the cold will probably hold and the wind will release, not real serious cold, but for us on Sunday, it looks like a pretty nice day, the nicest of the next 3 days. And then on Monday, there's a little bit of a wave trying to come through northern New England with a marginal bit of snow there. And then on Tuesday, now that Sunday storm is near Bermuda and that other storm's going across Ontario, and we are getting warmer air briefly late Monday into Tuesday. And then here comes the front from the north, which yesterday we showed snow breaking out near the Canadian border, and now it shows snow breaking out on the front from central New York to southern New Hampshire along I-90. So that's a real moving target. That's the boundary between the cold trying to return to the northeast and the warmth trying to come at us from the south. And then that looks like it's going to be neutral territory. And then, of course, there's something always on a Thursday. Look at that, a little wave on a Thursday. And that shows some snow in New York and Vermont on Thursday. And somewhat colder air trying to come in here next Friday, but nothing like the last 5 cold and windy Fridays in a row that we've seen. But there's potential for something again next Thursday. Of course, it's always a Thursday. And then here's where the wheels really come off again next Saturday with the storms lifting up into Canada. And look at all that heavy rain and severe weather coming out of the middle of the nation toward New England, but not really getting here except for the warm part. And this now takes us out to Sunday, March 16th at 7 p.m. That's now 240 hours. And we have some rain. Oh boy, that does not look good at all, does it? For northern New York into Vermont. And so we would almost repeat what we just did 2 days ago or yesterday and late Wednesday with that, if that comes true. And again, I'd give that about a 55% probability of happening over a 45% chance that we end up with a colder solution. Weather is, it's wearing me out, to tell you the truth, trying to call the play-by-play on all of this and all the sensory overload and all the videos and so much content, and it just won't stop. Look at this. This just turned beautiful here for a second with sunshine and high clouds and the low clouds, so we're between pulses right this second. And yesterday, traveling up, I never took a right on Moscow Road before, and I get to go up along those brooks there, up, what is it called, the Moscow River. There were some real minor ice jams happening where I was, some flooded fields, and I ended up at the Nebraska Knoll Sugar House, and I got to spend a lot of time with the entire Coty family and team putting together the first boil of the season. And look at you go. Mrs. Coty stacking the fire yesterday. They had to season the boiler and then the first boil, and I was treated to one of the first bottles of the 2025 sugar season. And they're going to have an open house in 2 weeks, and you're all invited, and so welcoming there and meeting new friends. And so I have a limited time to edit, so I'm just going to edit a little bit of that visit from yesterday, and then I'll do a more comprehensive edit featuring just the sugar farm up there in the sugar bush with 9,776 taps. Wow, all done by snowshoes and plumbing. That's
9,778 tap.
Fiedel kept telling me. It's all about the plumbing and the boiling and the timing and the density, and wow. So here's our and more from yesterday. I have to write a new J blog, and I have to get in the vehicle and go back to the Weymouth Big Dig. And Steve will be in tomorrow's edit, and we'll see you then. And here's the and more from yesterday on the warmer side of the front initially. Midday update here. Thursday, we're in the occluded air. There's very little wind, bagginess in the isobars, as I call it. And it's going to change dramatically with new low forming on the front as it goes by New England. And the wind is really going to ramp up, and temperature's going to drop, and probably be like a blizzard here by this evening. So why don't we take advantage of this little window here and go check out the Coty Sugar Farm in Nebraska Knoll. Here we're boiling some sap this afternoon. Let's go see Friedel.
Coty from Nebraska Knoll Sugar Farm here, just up in the sugar bush doing some line checks and tapping a few trees that got missed here at the top of the bush. The sap is running hard, so we'll probably be drawing sap from these drill holes here. Check it out. See, the sap is starting to flow out of that fresh cut tree. This is a sugar maple tree that I'm tapping, and that is a fresh cut hole that has sap dripping out of it. So we got sap pouring out of that fresh cut hole. Put in a new spout. There's a lot of sap coming out of that tap hole right there. And then I'm going to attach it to the lateral drop line. You can hear the vacuum coming out of this line. And that's going to suck that sap up. You'll notice that the tap is actually below the elevation of the lateral line, but there's a vacuum pump that actually brings it into the main line and then brings it down to the sugar house. We have some pretty ideal conditions for a sap run right now in the northern Green Mountains of Vermont. We're about 1,800 feet here. It's in the mid 40s. And these trees are absolutely surging with sap. So this is a sugar maple tree here that I just tapped, and it is already filling up. The drop line here is already filled up with maple sap, which is going to then travel down that lateral line into the main line, which will eventually end up down the hill at the sugar house, and we'll be boiling it into fresh maple syrup.
All the driveways look about the same. Treacherous ice.
Turn left onto Fallsbrook Lane.
It sounds a little scary, turning left onto Fallsbrook Lane. Hey, this looks like the backyard at home. Volvo. I would say that's Fallsbrook. Does that sound like a legitimate guess? Warning. All-wheel drive and winter tires often needed above here. Duly noted. I didn't really sign up for this. Oh, yeah, you did, TK. Yeah, you did. Let's see what it feels like giving her the gas. To Sugar House. All right. You keep your road in pretty good shape. Gotta tell you that. Welcome.
The destination is on your right. Arrived.
Yeah, thanks. Mind that first step out the door. Oh yeah, nice and gravelly. I think I know which way the boiling is happening. I think I can sense the boiling. Oh yeah, I think I found the main trunk lines here. Friedel's probably gonna just pop out of one of these buildings.
Yeah, we all sit around and watch, and then we try to decipher if it's what's gonna happen. Yeah, good for our sugaring or not.
Can you be in out the door weathering more? The videos that you watch, now you're in them. What are you doing in there?
Oh, you know, just checking the density.
The density of boiling maple sap?
Exactly. To make the syrup.
And why do you keep stirring it out of one vat into another vat?
Because we're just getting started. We don't want to have a whole pan full of syrup, so we're just trying to make sure that we can get a little bit less sweet in the center and more sweet where I'm standing.
So you're the whirlpool mixer, making sure that it all mixes together? Well, it looks pretty complicated when I look at all these charts over here. It looks harder than a weather forecast, that's for sure. 1995, 1996, 1997, so on and so on. 46th year?
Yeah.
So, does it change a little every year?
Every year is completely a new beast.
It's just time to boil a little bit.
Do you keep inventing new ways of doing it, or is the sap different?
The
Or
sap, the weather is what runs everything, and if the weather changes, the sap changes, and the amount of time.
it looks like ice over here. Is that part of the process?
So that, because we had a freeze last week, everything froze, and everything is just starting to heat up and run.
Oh, so you haven't boiled in a few days.
So we haven't boiled in a few days. This is our first boil.
Oh, wow.
For about a week.
What a coincidence that TK showed up on the first boil. Not of the season, though, right?
We just sweetened the pans the other day, so this is our first kind of official boil.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Who's that through the steam over there?
TK Knoll Sugar
Friedel.
mini series.
Hey, what's going on? Good to see you.
Welcome.
Thanks.
This is a pretty exciting day right now.
Because
Because this is our first official day of sugaring, which is old school time frame. Early March, it's like that's how it used to be. But we sweetened the pans last week, and now we're making syrup in earnest.
sweeten the pans, is that what's in here you're talking about?
Well, the pans are basically clean stainless steel, and you know it's part lore, part science, but you actually have to get the sweet to cook down to actually finish off what we call maple syrup. So there's it's like an old cast iron frying pan. You want a little flavor in the pores.
Oh, I
of
see.
The metal, and that's sweetening the pan. The firebox.
Yeah, uh-huh. I can feel it from here.
But this is a very traditional wood-fired maple sap evaporator. It's called an arch, and it's pretty much the same style of cooking maple syrup that would have been used 100 years ago.
And you make your mom do the heavy lifting, I guess.
I just talk.
You just talk. You're a great talker. I mean, your audio is perfect. Nice. Look at her go. I don't want to get run over, but I'm coming over here for a second.
Where do you guys start?
Uh-oh. Make room in there. Wow. So you don't need to go to the gym then.
No, I don't go to the gym.
That's it right there. The Coty Family Sugar Farm, all working together.
But this is just getting started, because normally you have a wall of steam there. It's pretty much a maple steam bath.
Louis, how's this year compare so far?
Well, it's really too early to tell. Yeah.
Oh, what are you doing? Is this the final product right
No,
here?
it's not. We're trying to get the density correct here. The density correct.
What's going on?
The red line on there, when that's floating, then you have syrup, the right density.
So the red line, it's not at the top or the bottom? You want it
It's the top one. The bottom is actually for room temperature syrup. The top one is for boiling.
So are you there?
No, not quite. Almost. We're getting there.
So what do you want, that red line to go up a little higher?
Yeah.
A little bit higher.
So that you mean the percentage of
Oh
Yeah.
no, that just dropped again. Luke,
this thing just moved again
Luke, that thing just moved.
by itself. I saw it. We got it on video. That
Yeah.
valve is possessed, like my wife's car.
You've got a great video here of all our problems, which is
That can't be all your problems. I mean, we're in one room. I want to see that red line float.
Not too bad.
See how it's starting to float now.
See?
Hygrometer.
Yeah.
Oh, the whole ball, the whole bulb. Oh, I got you. Right.
we
So it's a
want it up
density
here.
thing.
But you see, it's 2 weeks still.
So is the density of the fluid increasing? Is that what's going to make?
Yeah, because we're boiling the water out of it, and it's leaving
Okay.
the sugar behind. So it's a
And that makes it more dense?
yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then when you reach the right density, then the product comes out of here.
Then
This is such an honor to be in the presence of the first boil season, and they're trying to get it to the exact right density of sugar to water, which is somewhere around, let's say, 67%. And that's what they keep checking is the density. So the first batch is going to come out of here any second now.
Yeah.
Is that the first batch?
yeah, oh, today, first batch.
Now where's it going?
It's going through, we're adding diatomaceous earth, which is a filtering agent that's used for juices, beer, honey, and maple syrup. And that's going to take out the gritty mineral content in the syrup and leave behind this beautiful pure maple syrup.
There it is. Is that the finished product?
That is the finished product, maple syrup, right there.
Moi?
There it is. Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for visiting. Oh yeah.
Oh, I am so spoiled.
From the tree to the TK and through miles and miles of plumbing and hours of work and beautiful. It's still warm. Mom, can I have it while it's still warm?
Warm is the best way to eat syrup, that's for sure.
Wow.
Or in coffee. Or in a steak marinade. Or over yogurt. Or over ice cream. Or in oatmeal. Or in squash or sweet potatoes. Or in a salad dressing.
Sound like Bubba Gump talking about shrimp?
Yeah. I get excited.
That's about all.
The food comes up. But yeah.
I think I could put it on my shoe.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, right. Yeah. It's like what they say about deep frying. You can fry anything. It'll be good. That's the same way with maple syrup.
I didn't know my light was on there. Sorry about that, but
It's all good.
it makes it look good. I'm not sure if the wind just blew the door open or not. But here we go. What is wind? Wind from the north, sap flows forth. Wind from the south, sap is drought. Wind from the east, sap flows least. I just had some syrup and I feel like I've got a little buzz. Wind from the west, sap flows best. I always say that. West is best, east is least. There it is. Thank you so much, Coty family, for that wonderful sugar farm tour. Heading back up the mountain road, and here at 4:20, it's 36 degrees, going by the Matterhorn, and the raindrops turn into slush puppies. Call them cat paws on the windshield. And here comes winter back in. I almost see the sun up there. The air is definitely white. And boom, like magic. Go up the hill and it's snowing again. It started raining yesterday, I don't know, around 9 o'clock in the morning. And now just past 4 in the afternoon, and it's snowing again. And this is day 66 in a row with snow somewhere in New England. Still no end in sight.
Oh, and he's always happy to see me, and I'm always happy to see him. Hey, Baloo, let's look out the door and call it a day for and more. And the wind is just ramped up here, so really dynamic situation now. This air moving from high to low pressure is pretty much going to rule our world for the next 48 hours. And it's called cold air advection. Probably talked all about it already, so wrapping up this late Thursday for our Friday and more. And the next round of wintry weather to come in. That'll leave us with a couple of different time lapse. Weymouth looked so peaceful for a time. The big dig stirring up the sediment. You can see it kind of moving out with the tide today. The flag not really moving too much. Very little wind. In the lull between storms, that was, of course, now yesterday. And then those squall-like clouds late in the day. And how about one from Dennis, where, because the ocean water temperature is only around 40 and the dew point was well into the 40s, fog was the story of the day on Cape Cod and much of Maine, where the air comes in off the water and you have such rich moisture. Not too much wind on Cape Cod until late in the day. We're all in the wind now, and what was really soft snow is firming up, or has firmed up very quickly. Rumors until further notice. Although if we get enough snow, the trees might not be too bad. And more and more and more. Thanks for watching. Hold on to your hats. Buckle up. March weather is not for the faint at heart. What's that? You want to go in? You want to go in? Okay, let's go in. Talk to you tomorrow.